Okay, so in terms of the channel landscape, we call it that for 2024, just be good to understand what you see as any sort of trends you think are going to be developing or any changes you anticipate over the next 12 months.
Well, they're the ones that we're touching directly, and they're the ones that we're focused on as a company, and that is specifically with our tech pillar, which is really our Parallels business. We compete with VMware and Citrix, and both of those companies, VMware just got taken private in the last couple of weeks officially, and they're both changing their channel strategy. And more specifically, what we're observing is smaller customers or medium-sized customers are no longer getting focused on, or they're getting, not just 10% price increase. We're hearing stories of 50% price increases, 700% price increases. And so it's causing a bit of mayhem as everyone's trying to figure out where true north is, who are the companies that are going to be able to support, we within our Parallels RAS business, we are a solution sell. So we need the channel desperately. The channel is our friend and we're part of that ecosystem. And so what I've, observing in 2024 is really this disruption of status quo in many ways. And, partners having to examine themselves and figure out, okay, what do we do? What do we stand for? Does our pricing make sense? Do we have to rethink who our partners are? How do we solve for these end customers?
And so, bearing in mind that, I mean, have you come up with any sort of strategies to adapt your own sort of approach to the channel and not just survive but thrive in this new landscape you've been describing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really about focus. So for us, it's really identifying and understanding where we can have mutual benefit. So, as I said to one channel partner recently, they were, I was extolling the virtues of our Parallels RAS product and how simple it was, for example, and how it's just so easy to use. And the partner was like, "Well, we like complexity, like that's how we make our money. Actually, sometimes is complexity." And so, it was a conversation where I said, "Well, look, we're not here to, be at cross purposes or put you out of business. We've got to find the mutual success condition. So when you're successful, we're successful, and vice versa. So let's be creative about what that could look like." Now, you can do that with 20 partners. You can't do that with 200 or 2,000 partners. And so for us, it goes back to focusing on who the partners are who really both get our technology, but also want to lean into partnership broadly defined.
And in terms of just sort of developing that a little bit, do you have any, again, plans you can share around sort of any innovation to new initiatives for the business focusing on the channel? And are these, key part of your sort of future success? So yeah, just what sort of innovations might we expect and how you think they will play out for you?
We do have some things we're hoping to roll out in the next couple of months. So when we do, we'll make sure to keep you updated. And they really center on back to, what do we keep hearing from our customers? What do they want to use? What makes, what challenges are they seeing in their day to day? And so, we've got to be responsive to those. But also, if you think about our Parallels product, for example, we have desktop, server. A next logical extension is cloud, but also, we're in the we have a product called Parallels Secure Workspace, which is really, being able to stream application via the browser, so an agentless solution. And we can go into Azure Virtual Desktop, so being able to give people a front end to observe how their partnership with Azure is working. Things like remote browser isolation are things that we're looking at. So. But if I say all those things, the reality is what we really want to do is shift from what I would say is a bunch of products to really becoming a platform. And when we can have a platform type solution, now the conversation with a partner is different, because instead of the partner having to go, oh, I know there's this one thing that they can use this one thing for, now it's like, oh, Parallels can just kind of solve the things. And I think that's what we want the relationship with the partner to be about, such that we're there for a lot of and so that they can utilize us, not just in that point way, in a point solution, but really a compendium of solutions. And so now we're more top of mind. Now we're creating more value for that partner, because they can be in a conversation with somebody and say, oh, that might not work, but Parallels Desktop for Business might be exactly what you need. And so to really give the education for the entirety of our product suite, and to keep expanding what that product suite looks like, so that we can, make that conversation for that partner easier.
Yeah, and in terms of your partners, just be good to understand. I mean, I'm sure you're always sort of looking at that and working out how to develop, but broadly speaking, have you got a mature and well-established partner base and they all get what you're doing, or are you looking to evolve things? And I know traditional channel models to MSPs, which I think you're saying about, about making yourselves your technology available in the cloud. So just thoughts as to your current partner ecosystem, if you like, and how you might be, see that develop as you
Yeah,
develop.
I mean, I would say we do have wonderful partners. However, I was unfortunately told by a partner not too long ago that we were the best kept secret in IT, which kind of broke my heart a little bit, because obviously we're not trying to remain a secret. And so I think while we do have good partners, I would not say that the well-known, established, one of the things our head of marketing says is, people don't wake up in the morning and say, Parallels, right? So we've got a challenge. We're the kind of the upstart, if you will. We need to create mind space. So, we're leaning in with our partnership on saying, like, okay, where can we make a difference? Where can we go from, 2 transactions a quarter to 4 or 8? And, how do we think about what engagement at the partner side looks like? But then how do we educate our partners effectively? How do we make sure that, so we spend time CTO to CTO to make sure their CTO and our CTO understand each other in a way, and understand what the products are and know what's coming, so that they feel like they're not just catching the things that we're throwing necessarily, but actually directly connected and involved with how we're operating.
I guess partly to that, you've got the opportunity. There's a lot of emerging technologies within the channel. So is that one way in which you can create more of a competitive edge, shall we say, and therefore raise your profile?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's we're bringing the technology, the channel partners that we find the best are the ones who are leaning forward, who don't want to just say, oh, let's, the complexity story is a fine one, but even that partner said, look, I make my business on complexity. Because one of the things we've said is it's, easier to, move over to RAS than just to upgrade to the next version of Citrix. And so while that is fine and has been fine maybe for a while, but when the world and the ecosystem starts to change in terms of the prices that are being charged, and now you can no longer, customers are saying, I can't continue with this solution. The partner's got to be, mindful and thoughtful about saying, okay, we've got to go out into the market and see. And it's scary because, as a partner, their reputation is on the line. And they need to know something's going to work. They have to stand behind it. They have to have. And so we do a lot to just, try to make sure that, what are the technological questions? Here's somebody else who's focused on that, so that there is a sense of, that they're going to be successful with that customer because they want to do a good job. And I think it gets back into, what is the true meaning of partnership, and, are we connected in such a way that we're putting them in the best possible position to succeed?
And I suppose the other part of that story, if you like, is the customer. So the customer experience, I mean, there's increasing focus. I mean, the digital experience, the customer experience. So again, are you looking at ways in which you can improve or enhance that customer experience, and also, I guess, therefore help yourselves and your partners to build lasting, better relationships with customers?
I mean, on the customer side, I mean, their IT departments are stretched. They're being looked at and scrutinized inside their own companies. Their budgets are getting cut. And so they're having to do more with less. And so to the extent that we are able to bring a solution that it, helps them. And to the extent that, the customer is asking the partner, like, hey, what about parallels? That is always useful for us. And in particular, so we're trying to, get more out into the ecosystem, be more present on LinkedIn, making sure that, there's awareness, certainly at the minimum, but also that we're really fulfilling the need. And, it's not nobody wants to buy software that they don't need. And so, really being able to, connect with the entire process in the ecosystem. But yeah, I mean, like in some cases, we have to rely on the end customer going to the partner and saying, hey, what about parallels? And that's an okay position to be in, but I'd rather be in a position where the partner is driving the solution, and the partner is, being seen as the one who is the kind of thought provider, if you will, almost for the end customer, because they rely on that partner to help them with, with their IT challenges. And so being able to lean in that way.
And just in terms of the overall channel landscape, how competitive is it for yourselves to identify suitable partners and keep them? I mean, are there lots of vendors, courting the same organizations to represent them, or is it relatively easy to find the right people, or if you want real quality, is say you've got to sort of roll your sleeves up and really sell yourselves to convince?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are certain partners certainly where we have to be realistic about our ability to play in that ecosystem, for example. So, our head of revenue, I mean, she came from Cisco, and she said, yeah, I know how much MDF Cisco paid that partner, and I know how much we can pay that partner, and I don't know if they're going to listen to us, right? So I think we've got to be really strategic around which partners are we just a really good fit for, because I think if we try to play in leagues where Cisco's paying this partner $20 million a year, like we're just not going to be able to get the same mind share as those other places. So then we have to find where, hey, when the amount of business that we can grow for this partner is meaningful for them, it changes their outlook, it changes their trajectory. I spent a lot of time thinking about, what does the P&L of the partner look like? What does their business look like? Because if I can attune to understanding and solving their business problems, we can understand how we fit in or not. Because back to focus, we can't be everywhere. We can't put our dollars everywhere. We can't spray and pay. We've got to be focused. And so if we're in a situation where the partner and us just don't have mutual alignment, it's just not going to work as well. So we've just got to be really thoughtful about where we put our energy.
And maybe just in finishing, in terms of the future we discussed, are you fairly optimistic that you will be able to, if you like, achieve the expansion, the extra connection with your channel partners and stuff, or do you think there will be a big challenge, or the combination of the technologies, say the other disruptions that are going on the market, which are perhaps helpful to yourselves? Just your thoughts, I suppose, as to if we were having this conversation in 12 months' time, would you be beaming and really happy, or still worried, or more worried that where things are going? I'm not saying you're worried now. Sorry, I mean just that.
Well, look, I think we're always worried as a CEO. I mean, if somebody said, like as a CEO, like nothing I'm worried about, then now I'm worried that you're not worried, right? So there's a little element of that. But I am actually, when you say look out 12 months from now, I am really excited and confident about this next year. I know how well our product hunts in the market. We just simply need to let more people know about it. And on that regard, we've been very focused and targeted with the relationship. So sitting down with a partner, creating a joint business plan, understanding pricing, making sure our success is their success, and to really not ever have it be contentious. And what I continue to observe over and over again is that there is a good meeting ground there, and we don't have to be in 100 partners. Honestly, if we can do that joint business planning work with 20 or 30, it'll be a huge year for us. And so we know what our challenge is. We've got executive support too. I think that matters. So it's not just down at the sales level where there's that connection point. It's really, myself, our head of revenue, our head of technology, really saying like, we're here to commit and we're here to bring resources and we're going to make sure that this is successful.
Okay. It's been great to chat. We covered a lot of ground, but Christa, really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, Phil, and hope to connect soon.
Thanks again.